Why are we late, Leslie?
Candy, do you want to cover this one?
Welcome to the Tea Talks mid-morning show. I am Candy.
And I'm Leslie. And let's just cheers. Let's cheers to life. Let's cheers to technology. Let's cheers to Mercury retrograde. Let's cheers to the stars. And let's cheers to how flippin' fast life has been moving lately.
Yeah, so this morning was like a perfect representation of that because Leslie and I were both trying to figure out the technology stuff, and we're just rolling with it. So who else, drop a comment below, who else is just rolling with it at this point in time in your life? The new year kicked off. Leslie and I talked about this a little bit last week. The new year kicked off. Everyone had big goals, big visions, big dreams. You set a ton of new goals for yourself, and then here comes February, like whoosh, and here comes March, whoosh, and here you are watching today's episode, and we just noticed it's our 15th episode. Whoa. That
this
means
is probably the most consistent I've done anything ever in my life every week. I really think this is the most consistent I've done anything in my life. So that's a huge win.
It's a huge win. We've been doing this thing for 15 weeks, and that's super exciting. So drop a comment below. Let us know how long you've been hanging with us and where in the world you're tuning in from. I see Jessie jumping on. Hello. So great to see you every week. Drop a comment below. We can see who's on, but we can see how many people are watching, but we can't see who's on. So drop a comment below. Let us know you're here. Let us know where in the world you're watching from. And so this month we're talking all about March Madness. So what's March Madness to you, Leslie?
MMM. Are you ready for the M's we're going to be covering? Any ideas if you can spit it out before I do?
What M's are we going to be talking about? I'll give you a hint.
Mindset.
All right, mindset. I'm gonna put that in the comments below. We're talking all about your mindset this month and how your frequency, literally how your frequency plays a role in what you're attracting, right? Plays a role in everything that you create for yourself. And I think this is one of my favorite topics because Leslie and I used to dive into so much personal development together when we first started this journey that we're on right now. And we talked all about just like how much the way you look at things changes everything. All right, what's the next M? What's the next M? Something you all have been asking for so long.
Everyone's favorite topic.
Everyone's favorite
money.
Topic. Money.
All things money, money, money. We are going to be saying this word so much that you will have no sensations of negativity in your body when you hear it. We're going to talk about all of that and everything that plays into that when it comes to your abundance and your receiving.
We're going to talk about recreating your relationship to money. We're going to talk about how to actually attract abundance in your bank account and how you can start being financially free literally today. And Leslie and I have some really powerful practices for that. What's that third M? Drop it to him, Leslie Medley.
Magic. 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 And if you notice, it's mindset, money, topics we've all heard about to some degree, very 1990, very 2004 of us. But we're here today to bring in the 2020 version. And you cannot talk about 2020 and not have magic or miracles present. And I know everyone on this show in some way, shape, or form this year already thus far have experienced some level of magic, some level of just miraculous miracle in your life, whether it's an aha moment, whether you attracted someone into your life. And so when Candy and I came up with, okay, the tea topic and the tea theme for this entire month, and what we were going to really be talking about, we're going to also be bringing the magic and really understanding this like word magic that maybe some of our parents, I know mine, definitely associated with witchcraft and with devil's work. And even in this conscious space, we might hear the word magic a lot, but how does that show up? And what is magic? And how can we start using magic to only expand our mindset and our abundance and our money and really ultimately elevate our life?
I see Ray Jean coming in from Tucson, St. Petersburg, Florida in the house. Hello, Ashley. I'm loving all these new faces. Hello. I see Betty Battle jumping on. Jade, hello. Love it. Drop a comment below. Let us know where in the world you're tuning in from and what you got in that cup.
Yeah, what you got? So I have West Coast is the best coast. Just have to throw that in there. Just saying. Sorry, Florida. I love my Florida people.
Florida
coast is the best coast. And I have in my cup, once again, Me Time, Wosh Wellness. And it's so interesting when I just have to say this, when I first received this bag, I was like, oh, it's kind of small, right? Like I was like, oh, okay, that won't last me very long. No, not true. Because it's so pure and so real, even though it says 2 teaspoons, I've been just doing 1 and my tea is more than strong enough. And I like strong tea. I'm like a 2 tea bag type of girl usually.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, I'm like double it up. I want it strong. I'm at a friend's house. Okay, I'll only use 1, and I'm just blown away how 1 just scoop, how strong and potent and amazing this tea feels. So that's what's in my cup. What's in your cup?
Well, I'm dying that Jesse's drinking some iced matcha and oat milk because that is actually my favorite drink. I'm low-key addicted to matcha.
Or high key at this point.
Or what?
Or high key at this point.
High key. Did I say low-key? Not what I meant.
I must have mixed up my words.
The first step is admitting it. I drink matcha like water, you guys. In fact, I'm actually reminded to drink a little bit of water today. But I'm really obsessed with the period blend from Wosh Wellness because guess what? It's time to start drinking this coming up. I don't know about you guys, but I don't know. I got 6 more days, 5 more days, something like that. Leslie, we're pretty much on the same, I think.
Yeah, here in a few days, I haven't even opened mine because I've just been I can't believe I'm actually excited for my cycle to come, right? Because I really want to test this out. And I can't wait to give Cassie feedback, in real time, this was my experience. So I'm ready to just unbiasedly, completely be the guinea pig and test out the period blend and also bring that awareness to myself throughout the week. I'm going to have a cup every day and a few days prior, just like she had suggested, and test it and see and really tune in with myself and just see the differences that it makes.
I love it. Love it so much. And I love that this tea brings us back to that space of just pausing and taking a brief moment to just recollect everything. How many of you have been so wildly busy? I know Leslie and I have a couple updates. So you just finished your meditation mentorship program, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was just looking at the comments really quick and getting caught up. But yes, it's been insane to say the least. Anytime anyone asks how I am, I'm honestly, it's insane and magical. That's the only words I have is it's been insane. I'm floored. I'm on the floor, but I'm here and it's been expansive and it's been incredible.
Yep.
And I know you've had a lot going on as well as all of you watching, no matter if you're in business, if you're in school, if you're working, if you're in a transition, no matter what space you're really coming from, what I can very confidently speak to that's happening collectively, just because every single conversation, and I've talked to people all over the world, but the country, from so many different backgrounds and spaces, men and women equally. And the common theme has definitely been, how the heck is time moving so fast? It feels like we took normal, crazy life and just sped it up. I know that's what it feels like to me. It seems like the days are moving quicker. It seems like each moment is moving quicker. Yeah. And I see there's a few things happening here. For one, a lot of us, not everyone, of course, but a lot of us are more present than we've ever been. Way more present than we've ever been in our entire life. And we're taking in life fully, and it's moving quickly. And it is moving quickly. And there's a couple things I want to say before we officially dive into the topic, because I know so many women, when Candy and or myself share kind of collectively what we've been hearing, what we've been experiencing, it really almost, I can feel the like breath of fresh air, like, okay, good. It's not just me, and it's not just you. I feel it, Candy feels it, and it's not bad. Just know that this is literally what was predicted. This is what's been predicted forever, for years, that we will be entering the Aquarian age, and we will be entering a time, an age of technology where even the baseline is more awake than ever before. And we're going to be experiencing quicker time. We're going to be experiencing expansion. We're going to be experiencing upgrades. This has literally been predicted, even back to, the yogis knew the age of information was coming, and it's here. It's like no longer coming, it's here. FYI. And this alone brings us right into today's tea topic. And what we're going to be really diving in today, and we're using today's episode as really a transitional, if you will, episode. And I really believe, and Candy brought this to my attention too, and from the conversation she's been having, is so many of you are almost in this transitional space already this year. It's like 2020 coming in hot, right? And we all came in hot. Right? Like, boing. And now that's great. It's been great. I think we've all been blown away at what's been generated, what's been received, what we've experienced. And what I also see is the ones who aren't serious, they're kind of falling off. Normal, typical, right? And the ones that were never serious to begin with have already definitely fell off. And the ones that are standing here and now, which is you, by the way, if you're watching this video, whether it's on the replay or live, if you're watching this, you're here. And it's March 3rd, but let's just say it's March 1st. And this is that transitional period where winter is beginning to end and spring is absolutely emerging, especially on the West Coast. We're all like, let's emerge ourselves. And let's talk about this transition, though. It doesn't just happen overnight. It's not just like winter, inward, planting seeds, organizing structure, and then boom, I'm here. I know a lot of people are experiencing this, like, should I pull back? Should I stay inward? Should I, did I go too hard? Did I commit to too much? Or do I keep running with it? Do I keep expanding? Do I keep just seeing what happens? And so if anything I just shared, and we'll kind of continue with the conversation, but I want to hear if anything I shared is yes, me. And so that way we know that it's resonating and that we can continue to really move through the conversation. I know for me, that's exactly where I'm at. Is do I pull back? Which I already know the answer, but I feel that, do I pull back and kind of chill out a little bit? Or do I just keep breathing deep and expanding myself? And so if you've been feeling any of those spaces, I'd love to hear that I'm not in this alone.
Oh no, keep going. Ashley Brown says you already know the answer to that question.
Girlfriend, yes.
I feel that, Leslie, it's definitely resonating. Betty Battle says, I love this month's topic. So true, Ray Jean says. Yes, all of it, all of it. Honestly, yeah. And it's one of those things that's like, should I pull back? But yet time is gonna keep going, regardless of if you want to keep going with it or not. And I think that's the part to get, is that yes, you can be inward and you can review, but at the same time, life's still going to keep moving, so whether you like it or not. And I think this was one of the hardest things I had to get myself throughout this experience of growth and expansion and evolution in my own journey, is that it's going to keep rolling whether you like it or not. You're going to keep growing whether you like it or not, and this is just what you signed up for. Your souls signed up for this journey, and I just keep presencing myself to that, how I'm in this for, like we talked about this before, I'm in this for the long haul. I'm not in this for a season. I'm not in this for a week. I'm not hopping on any trend trains besides this cute little jean jacket, you know what I mean? But I'm not hopping on any trend trains. Like oh, and Leslie's 80s hair. I love it. We're both rocking the 80s hair.
We are.
I love it. But we're in this for a lifetime. And I think that's what I keep becoming present to, is that literally how cool is it that we just get to be alive in this time. Like March 3rd, 2020 is the best time to be alive and to be doing what it is that you're doing for yourself and for those that are around you. So I love this. I love this conversation. I love this topic. Jesse says, yes, that's exactly how I feel right now. Totally. Totally.
And let us know, comment below with what Candy just said. Who is ready? Who says I'm in it for life? Comment below. I'm here for it. I'm in it for life.
Mm-hmm.
And the sooner, y'all, the sooner we can just like really not conceptually say that,
Mm-hmm.
but really just be like, you know what? I really am here for it. I'm here for the adventure. I'm here for the growth. I'm here for the expansion. I'm here for the days I'm on my knees. Because I need those too. Those are humbling as AF. I'm here for all of it. And so comment below if you're in for it. You're here for it.
I see Ashley dropping drop this emoji. This is Mimi right here. We named her last week. Drop that emoji below if you're feeling this. And so to get into the topic today, we're talking all about mindset. And I think this is really powerful to dive into the rest of the month. So we're going to talk money. We're going to talk financial practices that'll really help you create that abundance mentality, that abundance mindset, to actually start attracting abundance in your bank account. And then we're going to talk about magic. But I think the mindset piece is so important, because this is where it all starts, number one. And another thing is that a lot of us are just viewing life through the wrong context. You know, like when things feel like it's overwhelming, or when you feel like you're, off track of some sorts, or even if you're questioning yourself at all at any point in life, even if it's just what Leslie said, do I keep going? Do I pull back? Do I, any sort of questioning yourself, there's always a sense to where you're viewing your life through the wrong context. And so what we'll present today is like, how can you shift that and start viewing your life through the right lens, so that you can start creating the experiences that you want to create through all of the expansion, through all of the energetic upgrades, through all of the magic, through all of the beauty, and even through all of the chaos. Yes. And I think that's really important. And what I was super present to was that my coach just messaged me last week, and she asked me to come talk to her girls. I know Leslie and I were talking about this a little bit ago, but I asked these girls, what are your strengths and what support do you need for your teammates? And they all talked about their individual strengths and the support that they could use from their teammates, and what it is that is truly going to help them win these games. And then I asked them, what is it that has the power to tear you down? to tear you guys down, to have you not win the game, to have you messing up, to have you like off track. And I was just so blown away at how relevant, even in this sports team, this tiny little sports team has, like how relatable it was in terms of the collective of women and what we deal with. And the biggest thing they said is being discouraged, not feeling like I'm enough, good enough, worthy enough, and feeling like I'm letting myself and my teammates down. And so how many of you feel like that's what has the potential to tear you down? And we're going to talk about today, like some real ways to actually have you be the opposite. And what I told them, Leslie, and let me know what you have on this, because I thought this was really inspiring. But what I told them was that, what do you do when you know that this is what's going to tear you down? The exact opposite, and dramatically, right? And so what are some practices you share with your clients or your people on, just like the opposite of feeling not good enough, feeling like you're worthy, feeling like you're confident, feeling like you got this? Because I think now more than ever, that's what you guys need. And let me know if that's right. Like I see the Mimi going up down below.
Trying to look at some of the comments. I'm as Candy shared that. I love that you shared from these girls, like real life experience of, it doesn't matter if it's a tight team unit that has been doing this together year after year or semester after semester. It doesn't matter if it's a huge ginormous group, let's say a workspace.
Right.
We all, as individuals, first, experience these doubts, experience these struggles, experience the noise. I'm going to talk about the noise of the mind and how we literally must understand that this is the programming and the nature of an unrefined mind. It is not you. Like, I'm going to talk really slow now on purpose because this has just got to be understood.
Yeah, like what you mean by unrefined mind.
Yes, of an unrefined mind. So what I mean by that, to put that in very simple terms, is we go about our life, we have our parents telling us certain things, we grew up maybe with no money, we grew up with a lot of money, we grew up with our mom always talking bad about a male figure, we grew up with the male figure not even being there, we grew up with, I know for me, being really made fun of, for example, in 5th grade. I mean, insert anything that you've been through. And I can almost guarantee everyone on this call, because it's just now that we're waking up, but especially in the 90s, very few of us were encouraged to do anything, especially as a child, about refining our mind or improving our mind. And so all we have is just programming, what we've picked up, unconsciously or consciously, either one, agreed to along the way. Now, most of us know a basis of this now. We're like, yeah, I know that. Yeah, I know. I totally know that I have a hard time receiving love from a man, let's say. 2020 it doesn't cut it anymore to know. It just does not cut it anymore in 2020 to know. Knowing isn't really getting us anywhere. It's gotten us this far, but 2020 is really asking us to put these mindset tips, tricks, tools, practices, ways into play. And so I'm saying all of this before I share a practice because I just feel that it needs to be said first of all. And it's funny because typically you'll hear me talking more about embodiment, like let's move away from some of the mindset stuff. But here is a time that I'm actually going to say the opposite, because I see two things happening. I see people having a really strong mindset. I mean, they can write personal development books in their sleep. Okay. And we all know these people. They can quote everything. They know the concepts for sure. They have a very strong mindset. They're very driven, great people, incredible people. But when it comes to really living, embodying, experiencing the teachings, right? What we're all trying to do, there's a lot of blockages typically. It's not fully embodied. So that's typically what I'm speaking to. But now let's flip the coin for a second. Okay, let's flip the coin. And we're all over here wanting to feel more and be in our bodies and be feminine and be womanly and be a goddess. And this is all great too. This is what I teach, literally. But what I'm also now seeing is there's just some simple mindset stuff that just has to be on lock. It just does. Okay, and I'm going to talk about that. And what I specifically mean about that are the times, like, so using myself as an example, the times where the noise is there. Who are you? What are you doing? This is the time you should pull back a little bit. You're working yourself too hard. You're going to burn yourself out. Can you really sustain this? You're going to sabotage it. All the thoughts that come up for me. And the sensations, the feelings that arise. I feel the pit in my stomach. My heart's beating fast. My hands maybe start sweating. And if I were to follow that, I would be in my bed right now. Straight up. Unlock my mindset. I have an emotional intelligence that I refine and work on every single day. And so this is when I then get to choose. And to me, this is what I really feel a solid mindset gives you access to ultimately, simply put, is it gives you the awareness to make a choice. I'm always going to be an advocate, of course, of honoring where you're at, honoring your feeling. But ultimately, when you're being presented right or left, this fork or that fork, are you going to lean in or are you going to pull back? When you're presented those, if you follow the feeling, it's going to have you pull back and be safe. It just is. I believe personally, our body is the unconscious mind, the subconscious. And so with that being said, there's a lot of information there. There's a lot of signals, but it's also going to pull us back to the homeostasis that has been programmed into those cells. So with all of that being said, is your mindset on lockdown, on lock? Meaning when it comes down to feeling nervous, feeling scared, feeling overwhelmed, like I know a lot of us, it's just overwhelmed. It's a lot of movement. It's a lot of moving parts. Life is asking a lot of us right now. Is your mindset on lock? Can you be the big girl, right? The higher self and choose?
Yeah, and when Leslie's talking about choosing, she's speaking to specifically choosing, like, are you going to choose the discouragement or the discouraging beliefs about yourself and what you're doing? Or are you going to choose the encouragement? Are you going to choose to go the direction in which you know you need? For example, just coming back to those girls, it's like the one thing they said was being discouraged. Okay, what is it that's going to have you then like shift into or stay in your power? And it's being conscious, being aware of, like Leslie's talking about, when they're discouraged, what happens then, and like being aware of that and catching it and like observing it and being aware of that and then shifting gears, because you can be aware of it and stay in it, and guess what, you're still in it, you're still in that space. And so the next step would be to choose what you actually want to feel. And the universal law of attraction we talk about in mindset says what you focus on, you create more of. So if you're going to focus on the discouragement, you're going to create more of the discouragement. If you focus on the encouragement and I told the girls, like, you have to be overly dramatic with this. You can't just be like, okay, here's my affirmation. No, you have to be rock solid, like over, above, and beyond. Because what happens is, and we don't know it, but we have, and we talk about this all the time, the numbers, we have 60 to 80,000 thoughts per day, 95% of them being either recycled, redundant thoughts, or negative thoughts. And so if our subconscious, that Leslie's talking about, the unrefined mind, is running the show, and it's saying, you're this, you're that, you're not good enough, what do you think you're doing? Who do you think you are? All of those thoughts that we hear, then why wouldn't we or why wouldn't we choose that? Why wouldn't we follow that if that's what 95% of our minds are telling us? Whereas when you're practicing with awareness, when you're practicing with rock solid mindset, like Leslie said, you're going to be above and beyond with the encouragement, and you're going to be able to overpower that negative 80% and 95%, and you're going to be able to choose differently.
Totally.
Super powerful.
I'm going to pose a question that I'm going to kind of pose and then slightly answer. But it's a question that I just feel might be coming up for some people and has definitely come up for Candy and I both in this conversation of, okay, all right, I'm vibing. I'm feeling this. I see where I don't choose. I see where I allow my feelings to overrun me sometimes. Mm-hmm. The question often gets posed in these women's spaces of, but how do I know when to push through and choose to show up, right? And how do I know when, no, I really truly need to honor myself and not do or not show up or not push past? Mm-hmm. And I'm going to just go right into answering that the way I would answer that. And I'm going to do that simply just through an example of what I do. Mm-hmm. And let's say I wake up in the morning. Mm-hmm. And for me, it's in the morning typically that the noise and especially the body sensations are the greatest for me. And well, first of all, if I were to listen to them every time, I would never get out of bed probably. But let's say they're extra strong this morning, like the nervousness in the stomach, maybe I have a big call later, I don't know, right? And so in those moments, I feel it. And just as Candy was talking about, I'm dramatic sometimes, y'all, about how I'm feeling, like, oh my God, It's like, but are we being that dramatic about the other side of the coin? We're dramatic in our emotions. I know I am. I admit it. But am I dramatic in the celebration? Now I am. I used to not be. Am I dramatic in the affirmation, in the mantra? Am I really connecting to what I'm saying? Or am I just saying it? I am love. I'm just love. I'm love. Or it's like, no, like, Leslie, you are love. Like that is what you are. Mm. Can you see that? Just seriously, the difference in that is like really connecting to what you're saying. But anyways, got a little bit off track. But I wake up in the morning and I check in with those sensations. Mm-hmm. And I just take notice. Mm-hmm. And then I make a choice right then and there. Am I going to stay in bed? Am I going to pull? It's so cozy. Am I going to pull the covers over my head? And I don't really have to get up. I'm a business owner, right? Like I don't have to. Mm-hmm. I could technically just call everything off and I could do that. Mm-hmm. So I get up and I just begin moving energy, whether that's doing my practice, whether that's just being outside, whatever that looks like. Mm-hmm. And within about 20, 30 minutes, especially after clearing my channel or taking responsibility and doing what I know I can do to clear myself, mm-hmm. if I'm still feeling tired, if I'm still feeling really drained, if I'm feeling still like how I woke up, then I check in again. Then I tune in. Then I really listen. But what I don't see happening is we feel it. We're like, oh my gosh, I'm just feeling really tired today. Mm-hmm. But we don't even attempt to take that responsibility, that ownership, and try to at least shift it. Mm-hmm. Not shift it to fix it, not because there's something wrong that needs fixed, but because we really are that committed to living epic lives that we got some work to do. And I know that me laying in bed, as comfy and as cozy and as safe as I am, it ain't serving nobody, even myself. And so this is what I see being missed often is change up the energy. Try it at least once or twice. Get up. Don't force yourself. Don't push harder. This is the new script we're writing. But sit down in your seat of meditation. Go on a jog. Go to the gym. Put your freaking feet in the grass with the sun on your face and see if you still feel that way.
I love this. I wrote down in the comments below, don't shift it to fix it. Shift it because you're committed.
Yes.
Boom.
There's my next quote graphic.
That's your next quote. No, seriously though, and this all relates to, you know, what I was saying about the girls. It's like, you know, what we finished was, okay, now you know what your strengths are. Now you know what you need from your teammates, and now you know what it is that has you in your power, and now you know what has the power to take you out.
Yeah.
What are you committed to? What are you committed to? And I love that Leslie said, don't shift it to fix it. Like, don't just be like, oh, okay, I want to just change this because I want to change it because this is what I'm supposed to do or how I'm supposed to feel. Like, I'm not supposed to be feeling tired, or I'm not supposed to be feeling low energy. And so don't shift it to fix it because what you're experiencing is perfect, but shift it because of what you're committed to, is what I heard in what Leslie said. You know, it's not about just getting it together. You know, we hear that a lot. Like, I even catch myself saying it, like, got to get my shit together, got to get my stuff together. And, you know, it's just not self-serving. It's not something that's like honoring what your experience is, but to actually say, no, this is coming back to what you're committed to. And so that's why Leslie got up out of bed. It's not because, you know, she wasn't honoring her body. It's because she was committed to something bigger. And so my question to you all is, what are you committed to? Drop it in the comments below.
I want to know.
What are you committed to? I'm going to put that in the comments below. And I think that was super powerful when I was working with the team. It was super powerful to hear what all of them are committed to based off of what they discovered in the conversation, because they were just kind of like, yeah, I'm committed to winning. Okay, great. What is it that's going to have you win, you know? And what is it that's going to have you lose? Because we all want the W, you guys. We all want the W in life. We all want the win. I want all the W's. I want all the wins, right? I want to win at everything I do. And I know you ladies watching this Tea Talk show, you are driven women. You want to win too. But what is it that has you truly win at life? What is it that has you truly win in business and anything that you do? And what are you committed to around that? I love the comments coming in. Jessie says, this is what I go through every morning. Hearing it from a third party view put it in great perspective for me. Thank you. I have to sign off and headed to work. Bye, Jessie. We love you. See you all next week. See you next week. Tuesday at 10 a.m. Pacific, 11. We got to get with the time zone thing.
Yeah, the time zone's happening soon. That means my whole world's about to rock over here in California.
Same. All right. Ashley, I normally set an alarm, or alarm rings and get out of bed. This morning, I was like, maybe I need a mental health day and turn off my alarm and snuggled up with my baby girl. Then about 30 minutes later, my body was awake and ready. Just needed a minute to reset almost. Oh my gosh. I love that so much. Ashley, like, you don't even know, because a lot of times I'm like just feeling sluggish in the moment, but then when I give myself whatever I need, whether it's, you know, encouragement, whether it's, you know, just acknowledging what I'm feeling in that moment, then suddenly, like, the energy's there. And that, I think that's what we need to get about ourselves, is like, we're only in it. This is such a good conversation. We're only in the thick of it for like this much time out of our whole day. Like, we can't even stay in it even if we wanted to. I know sometimes, like, I can get I'm gonna just take the day off, and literally within an hour I'm like, all right, ready to go. Like, what's on my, you know? And I think it's so funny because we think we need a whole week off. We think we need a vacation. We think we need the social media detox for a month. And it's like, yeah, maybe take that if you need it. But what you really need is just to acknowledge what your body wants from that for you in that moment. Acknowledge what your heart needs, what your mindset needs, you know? And oftentimes it's just telling yourself, okay, no, you actually got this. Like you actually do got this. And actually you want to have it. Like you want to get up and go do the thing, right? Like there's one thing to say you get to, but you want to. Like I literally want to get on Tea Talks every Tuesday, and I know you do too, Leslie. And so of course, even if we're experiencing something in the morning, it's like, no, I can't wait to get on Tea Talks.
Totally. And that's so important to recognize, because you guys, I know for me, and I think there's probably a few that will say, yeah, me too. I had like at least 20, but probably 25 years, about 20, of saying I'm not a morning person. I'm not a morning person. That has been my script. So of course, it doesn't matter how awake I am. What is literally in the code in my cells is I'm not a morning person. 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 And so I'm so excited. But what's going to happen? Just like a computer, the programming is going to do what it does. And so for me, of course, it shifts so drastically over the last few years, but the noise is still going to be the noise for a little bit longer. I still have a few more years of repetition to really lock in the new programming. And so I love, to really bring this whole conversation full circle, is the old way is hustling, and the old way is pushing through. And that's why that's a very masculine strength. There's a time actually to push through, but for us women, it's always felt so icky. And that's why so many of us are in a space of honoring ourselves more. But what I see is we will lose our power if we keep allowing these feelings. A lot of them are only conditioned to run our life. And so it's not about immediately switching to high vibe. How can I go get high vibe? When I go sit in my practice, I'm not like, oh my gosh, gotta go fix myself. Heck no, I'm like, I need a half an hour. Like I want this half an hour. And maybe I'm singing, maybe I'm dancing. Like I said, I've just been loving just being outside and allowing the elements to soak into me.
Love it.
And within minutes, it's shifted. So we want to hear from you. Keep those comments coming in of what are you committed to? What are you going to return to every time? The noise, the nature of the mind is the nature of the mind.
Right. Jean says self-love and inner peace. I love it so much. Yeah. And we'll transition in here to ask and answer. To drop a comment below what questions do you have around this? Like, how can Leslie and I help you? Giving you tips on your mindset for March and moving forward into a brand new month. With so many blessings coming, so many amazing things. Like we're open books and we want to share so much wisdom and value with you guys. So what are your questions? Don't be scared. I guarantee that when you're watching this video and you have a question, or you're curious about mindset tips or tools or anything that you want to hear from Leslie and I, that someone else on this video, whether it's on the replay or on live, they have that same question and they're like, whew, thank goodness somebody else asked that, because I was kind of thinking the same thing and I didn't even know how to word it. So comment your questions in the comment box below. Maybe it's, dang, how do you guys manage like living the lives that you live and also running a business full time? Or what are some practices that we have to offer you guys? I mean, we just want to share all the things with you. So drop a comment below and we'll transition here.
I'm seeing comments, but I am not seeing all of them, especially the ones you read. So I don't think I'm seeing all of them. So just let me know what comes through.
Yeah, I'll let you know what comes through. And you want to hit that transition music?
Boom, 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 boom.
Leslie has all the transition music for Asked and Answered. So I guess the first thing that, comes to mind around this is like what I hear the most is like, balance, you know, like how do you balance, like especially when it comes to choosing, you know, honoring, like choosing, feeling like you're choosing between honoring yourself and getting up and doing the thing. And so like what's the balance around that? And I think you said it beautifully earlier, Leslie. It's just what are you committed to, and not doing it to fix it. Not like there's nothing wrong with you, it's just acknowledging, okay, well, what's going to be in alignment. But what are some tips you have for maybe some people that are in a space of like, yeah, I want to get my mindset right, but where's the, you know, where's the balance around in that?
Right. Always with anything, not going from 0 to 100,
Mm,
because that can be sustained for maybe one day, maybe 2 days until life happens, and then it all will, not maybe, will come crashing down.
mm,
And so checking in, are you setting yourself up for failure from the start?
mm,
AKA expecting this much of yourself from day one.
mm,
And so when it comes to making any changes, no matter big, small, lifestyle, mindset, doesn't matter, food, it doesn't matter the changes you're making ultimately.
mhm,
But I share 3 of my favorite consistency hacks. I'm going to see which ones I want to share now. I'll probably just speak to all of them, but ultimately being as minimal as you can.
mm,
I tell my meditation students, I would much rather you do 5 minutes every single day for 21 days than say I have an hour meditation practice and it happens twice.
mm,
Much rather.
mhm,
And so what I see is we're go-getters. Go
mhm,
figure. And so we want to eat clean, and we want to go to meditation, and we want to go to yoga, and we want to start the business, and we want to do deep healing. I even experienced that with my clients. They want to go on a very deep healing journey
mhm,
and start a business and run a family. It's not wrong. You can do it.
mhm,
But checking in, what are you putting on the plate? Especially if your question or aim is balance. Because ultimately, y'all aren't going to like this answer, by the way, y'all. But ultimately, you are the one that said yes to everything you're doing right now.
mm,
Whether it was consciously or unconsciously, everything, children included, house, life, partner, mindset, everything that is on your plate right now, you have said yes to.
mm,
And so, because that is true, might not be the pill you want to swallow, but because that's true, you also have the power to take things off, to shift things around, to add things that maybe are a little bit more filling, nutrient dense, and take things off that are the junk food.
mm.
That's what I would say.
Love it. Love it so much. Katie Trout says, I am taking notes, girls.
Yeah, girl,
This
please.
is definitely, yeah, this is definitely a noteworthy show. We always want you guys to be taking away good golden nuggets. So thank you, Katie.
I think Candy and I both have like taken notes ourselves at different points. We're like, oh my gosh, I gotta write that down.
That was really good. Hold on, let me quote that. Like that was really good. So thank you, Katie. She said these are reminders for when I wake up sluggish every day, on how to change my mindset programming. Thank you for these ideas. You're welcome. I know.
And I wanted to just quickly pop in. I know I gave the example of the morning, but just for everyone else, maybe for you it's not the morning. I know Candy, it's really not, I don't think, or it used to not be anyway. I don't know about now. But maybe midday, any time of the day, it doesn't matter. For me, it's definitely more the morning because that's when my personal body sensations are
Mhm.
but I also experience it midday. So checking in for yourself, Katie, but totally hear you, night shift nurse, girl, totally. That sluggish, and just checking in with that and then choosing.
Totally, totally. Yeah, I love that so much. Ashley Brown says, I know personally it has been a very slow transition from going from full on mom mode, kid first mindset, to I am a person and I felt so lost. Since we have moved to Florida, I've slowly started implementing things that I personally enjoy and am fulfilled with. What would you say would be the priority over balancing yourself and family life? I love this question because we actually get it a lot, quite a bit. It comes around, and we talked a little bit about balance, but speaking to family life, I think it's important to know, and Leslie, you can touch on this too. I have a lot of mom friends, and what I think is the most important is understanding that your kids learn not from what you say, but from who you are and how you move. And so if you want to implement these, like we all want our kids to grow up and be like self-sufficient, independent, like positive thinking, brilliant kids, which they are that naturally. But to raise children to be a specific way, whether it's confident, whether it's anything that you desire for them, you first have to walk that yourself. And so for you, Ashley, I would just say, well, what do you want? Like, what do you want your kids to know about what's possible? And specifically, like, how can you show up as that in your life, and your identity is just as important, like your unique identity outside of just a mom, because a mom is a role you play. Like, I'm a business owner, right? But a business owner is not all of who I am. Same thing for Leslie. I almost spilled my tea right now. I'm like getting excited. Same thing for Leslie though. Yeah, she's a business owner. She's also a traveler. She's also a certified RN. But yeah, these are just roles that she has. They're not who she is as an individual. And so I guess my tips on balancing is do what you're doing. You already nailed it on the head. You said, I've been getting into things that I personally enjoy and am fulfilled with. And I would say definitely continue doing that, because if you're going after things that you bring you joy, your babies, your kids are going to follow suit, and they're going to know that that's a value to go after what brings them joy, and that they're going to know that that's what life is all about, right? So powerful. Is there anything you want to say or add to that, Leslie?
Yeah, Ashley, I would say, babe, like, where can you really acknowledge how you're already doing it? And definitely how you're already doing it. And because you're in this transitional space, you just moved to Florida, and you are making upgrades in your life. You're wanting to be not only the best mother, but you're seeing, like, I actually want to be the best person that I can be. And so Candy also had shared, like, she has a lot of mom friends. I do too. And I purposely keep a lot of mom friends in my life because they teach me so much. OMG. And I respect them as a mother. And that when we're hanging out and maybe we're on the phone and they get distracted and they have to go, they get to go love all over their kid. Maybe they're crying, they spilled the milk, whatever happened. I'm just waiting on the phone, laughing, and being with that mother as a friend. And so I share that for you to begin calling that in. Those kind of women and friends into your life that, yes, you can have mom friends, of course, but any type of friend that you're not having to completely disassociate. I'm not a mom anymore, but you get to be a mom and you get to be a human. And the people in your life celebrate both parts of you. Not just the fact that it's a mom and we're going to go to the park and do the mom thing together. That's great too. But having people in your life that honor you, Ashley, and honor that you're a mother.
Yeah, definitely. And I would say like to just close it all out, Ashley, when people ask you how you're doing, what's the first thing, like the first response? And I know a lot of moms struggle with this, but it's like, oh, well, the kids are great, or the kids are doing the, like right away speaking to the kids' experience. But what's your experience in that? Because oftentimes your friends just want to know how you're feeling as an individual through all of that, versus like your task list as a mom. And also like, okay, so yes, talk about your kids, because I don't want you to feel like you don't have the permission to, but what's your experience through that, through what you want to say
in being a mom, not how's being a mom, or like what is your daughter doing, how is Ashley in your life.
Right, totally. And I think I saw this, the very first time I saw this when we were having Kids Day. Actually, Scotty was there at my old job where I used to work, and we had Bring Your Child to Work Day or something like that. Yeah, where there's a bunch of kids in the gym. And I was just like, dang, these kids are wild. But there was two little girls that got on the treadmills and sat, and they were like playing adult, right? And I was like, dang, this is like, they're like monkey see, monkey do, right? And so they like walk on the treadmills next to each other, like, so how are the kids? And they're talking to each other. They're cute. They're like 9 or something like that. And they're like talking to each other. I'm like, wow, this is what they see. Like, they don't see their parents talking about what brings them joy, or what their experience is. They see their parents talking about how are the kids. And so that's exactly what whether it's on TV or whether it's on their actual experience, that's what they see. And so that's what they're going to replicate automatically. So I love that there's so many moms who can benefit from this answer, Ashley. So thank you for asking that. And yeah, it's just knowing that your kids are going to follow suit in who you are, not what you say, not what you say to do, but who you are. They're going to follow that suit. And it sounds like you're definitely doing amazing with that. And she says, well, since I've landed an amazing job where I get to explore my creativity in so many ways, my response is fabulous. But I do have the thought that I need to explain how Aubrey is doing too. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Well, like, and it can be both, it can be like, I'm feeling amazing because I just landed this amazing job that lets me explore my creativity. And because of that, I know I'm being an example for my daughter to do the same thing for her life. And, that explains how Aubrey's doing, and Aubrey's like also feeling this way, and whatever else. But that definitely explains it and covers it. So I love that. Thank you for asking. Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, let's wrap it up. Leslie, hit that transition music. And do we want to say anything else?
Better. I need to come up with some good transition music. Let's see.
You haven't sang in a while.
Ooh, and we're transitioning to hello. What did I got? So this is what is in our cup. Whoosh Wellness. You've been hearing us talk about this now for almost a month, or almost exactly a month. And I personally, truly will be ordering some. And in fact, I really think this is going to be one of my main tea brands from here on out. And I'm really, really excited about that. So I stand behind Whoosh. I am in love with the owner and everything she stands for. And so we will be dropping the website in the comments below for you to check out. Even if you just go and check out her website, click through. It's beautiful, by the way. It's aesthetically pleasing, so your eyes will not be sorry. And you can read more about who she is, what she does, the brand. And I mean, they're from Canada. So it's just really awesome for all of us, especially if you're a female woman stepping into business or in business. It's always powerful for us to expand our network and our connections. And so we encourage you to also reach out, pour into Cassie, We can connect you on social media. She wants to hear from all of you. So if you have any questions about the tea, let us know. We will get you connected to her, but otherwise we'll be dropping the website below so that you can check Wosh Wellness out. And if you notice, it's Wosh Wellness, so it's not Wosh Tea. She truly, truly is about bringing the holistic healing, ceremony, and cultural awareness that he really truly has brought humanity since being on the planet.
I love it so, so much. All right, Tea Talks fam. Well, thank you so much for tuning in to Tuesday Tea Talks mid-morning show. Catch us live. I know I'm like, where's the music? Where's the music? Hang on. Catch us live next week and every Tuesday here on Facebook at who knows what time.
Now, 10 a.m. Pacific. We'll see what happens when the time changes.
We'll see what happens when the time changes. All right. I am Candy.
And I'm Leslie, and we love you, each of you, so much. Cheers to life. Cheers to tea, and have a beautiful Tuesday.
Have a beautiful Tuesday. Oh, Leslie, you're controlling it, so you actually have to be the one.
I was like waiting for it to stop. All right, guys, I'm controlling today, so this means we're out officially.